I'm not a looker through phones. Like, I've literally been cheated on for a full-blown year because I don't look through phones. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if it's a mixture of, actually, I'm not gonna say I don't know. It is a mixture of, I feel like people should have their privacy, but I also feel like I don't want to see it. Whatever it is, I don't want to see it. I hope that it's nothing, but if it is, I don't want to see it. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Just Healing Podcast. I'm Jasmine, your host, and I'm here ready to heal with you, grow with you, cry with you, be transparent with you, and of course, my favorite, be a little petty. I know you've seen this shirt before. I'm not going to even lie. This is a double recording day. Okay. If you guys didn't know, I am a single mom of two, and getting episodes in has become the hardest part about this whole journey. But I know I can do it, even if it means being in the same shirt. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you don't even have to worry about seeing my shirt because you don't even know that I have on a different shirt. So I'm actually probably telling on myself for most of the listeners because if you're anything like me, I'd love to listen to a podcast in the car on the way to my destination. So you're probably not even seeing my shirt. I'm probably telling on myself. But if you are watching, that is what it is. It's just that I'm double filming because I need to get these videos out. I need to get this content out. I'm so serious about this podcast. It has been in the making for so long. And I feel like when it finally got off the ground, I almost feel like it took a just stop because I'm just like, when do I record? It feels like it's never enough time. And so I I'm just at the point where I gotta do what I gotta do. That's what it is. We're being vulnerable, we're being transparent. That's what it is. That's why you guys will see me in the same shirt in two different videos. I'm not apologizing for it because it is what it is. Okay? Okay, we're there. We're there. Perfect. I love that for us. So as I said, my name is Jasmine. I am the host of this podcast. Here at Just Healing Podcast, we laugh, we cry, we're transparent, we're vulnerable, we tell stories. We are so freaking petty over here. And if that sounds like something that you can get down with, I want you to come join my squad. I want you to come join the healers because we're still new. We're still new. But I feel it. I just feel it in my soul. I feel it in my soul that we're going somewhere. And I want you to be one of my first healers to go somewhere with me. I want to be able to know your name and be like, oh my gosh, they've been a healer forever. Yes, they on a healing journey. So, yeah. And joining the squad is pretty easy. You just follow and subscribe. It's not hard. The thing about it is it's not hard. And that's what I want y'all to know. But yes, I love to start my episodes off with a healing with feelings segment. Many times I feel that when someone asks you, what's wrong? How are you feeling? It's so easy to just say, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm okay. That is our fault, and I want us to be delivered from it so badly. But I don't think it's as easy as that it's done because when I personally started noticing that I said I'm okay or I'm fine, I think I just was like, okay, that's what everybody says. Like when someone says, how are you doing? I'm good. I'm fine. I'm okay. And so it has just really been my desire not to mind y'all business or anything, but it's been my desire to get us to deliver us from that. So since I am still filming in the same day, I'm just going to be very honest. I'm frustrated, just like I was in my previous video, because it was just 45 minutes ago. um, but yeah, I'm a little frustrated, but I am really learning through prayer and through surrendering to give that frustration to God. Like, literally, I'm the flesh, so I have to receive it. But as soon as I receive it, I try to just give it to God immediately, because I'm just like, I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. And there are some things too where it's like, because it's flesh, it may be an email, it may be a text message, it may be something you have to reply to, but I'm also learning not to reply immediately, and more so take time, think on it, pray on it, um not respond with, I'm going to leave that for my healing hack. But yes, pray on it and not respond too quickly. That has really been a saving grace for me during this time of getting something, feeling frustrated, feeling anxious, feeling fear. I'm like, I'm just not going to respond immediately, because that gives me then time to gather myself, get myself together before responding. Um, but yeah, your girl's a little frustrated. Not even, I ain't even gonna yai. Y'all know where that's from? First of all, I love Jada Waita's little boy. Gosh, why can't I think of his name? Loyal. When he's, so I think he does say lie now, but he used to say, I ain't even gonna yai. I ain't even gonna yai. That's how I be feeling. I'm not even gonna yai to you. Your girl be wanting to respond immediately, but when anxiety and frustration comes over me, I have really learned to just not respond. Um, but my healing hack does go with that, because not only do I not respond immediately, but I don't know for you guys, but I have started to respond with bullet points rather than paragraphs, because I just feel bullet points gets your point across the board without people having to deal with reading paragraphs, because I just feel like nobody's reading all that. That's just my take. I could be all the way wrong, but that would be my healing hack, is that next time you respond to something, someone, demons, child, the demons are out here and they are in our inboxes. And next time you respond to one, I just want you to maybe use bullet points instead of using a paragraph. All right. We got all that out the way. That was easy breezy. Now let's get into the GC. That was easy breezy. Now let's get into the GC of everything. So I feel there are so many words that have been thrown out, and it's okay. This is how I feel about the word narcissist and gaslighting. I feel like it's like a car. So in 2018, I was in a car accident. When I was in that car accident, they gave me a rental, and while my car was in the shop, and that rental was a Nissan Rogue. I actually now have a Nissan Rogue, but when I got that Nissan Rogue as a rental, I started seeing them everywhere. And it's so interesting to me how when someone either gets a new car, or when you get a new car, you get a rental, even if you're out of town and you get a rental, you're like, oh my gosh, I've never seen this many same cars as the one I have. That is how I feel about the word narcissist and gaslighting. I'm like, where were these words when I was going through it? Where was the word narcissist before I said I do? Where was the word narcissist before I said I do? Because I ain't never seen it before. Or I seen it and it was in such an extreme, like placement, I guess, that I was like, nah, he can't be a narcissist. You know what I mean? And so those are just the things that I just really asked myself. But it was until I was in it that I really was able to see. And I really want to start just kind of being a little more transparent with you guys because that's the whole point of this podcast. Literally, the whole point of this podcast is healing myself through my experiences, but hopefully, soon getting other people with similar experiences, getting them on the show, and just different things like that. But I think me not holding back as much, like of course I can't tell everything right now. I just can't. I just can't. I don't know what to tell you. I just can't. But I know that things that are true stories, which all of it is, but like I said, some of it just can't be told. But I know there are some true stories that it's like, what you gonna do? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen if I tell the truth? Am I lying? You know what I mean? Am I lying? Am I lying? Am I lying? No? Okay. So I'll carry on. So I first of all, I've been gaslit the last probably before I left 7 years of my life. Literally gaslit probably every single day of my life. And I know y'all probably like, girl, not you, not fine. You are too fine to be gaslit. I know. Child, I know. But let me tell you, gaslighting doesn't have a type. Narcissists don't have a type. Like, you can be as fine as me. And yes, I am fine. I don't know if y'all listening or watching or what. But yes, I am fine. But you, even fine, you can still be gaslit. So, let me get comfortable, child. So, my gaslighting, like I said, I've been gaslit the last, before I left, 7 years of my life. But this one particular gaslighting story is just so funny to me. Like, now that I look back on it, it's actually hilarious. So I had an event. I never know how to say this event. Let's just say there was a white dress involved. Let's just say two people may have said two people might have said I can't even say it. There was an event, okay? It involved paperwork, it involved the government, right? Yeah. It involved paperwork, it involved the government, it involved people. It involved VOWS. It involved the things. Okay? That event happened. It's over. I actually like to say it never happened. But it did. But I like to say it didn't. And honestly, what is it hurting? What is it hurting that I like to say it didn't? You know what I mean? So that event took place in April of 2021. So imagine that event taking place. I want to say it had to be like around July 2021. I'm sitting in my bed and the other person has their phone. I'm not a looker through phones. Like, I've literally been cheated on for a full-blown year because I don't look through phones. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if it's a mixture of, actually, I'm not going to say I don't know. It is a mixture of, I feel like people should have their privacy, but I also feel like I don't want to see it. Whatever it is, I don't want to see it. I hope that it's nothing, but if it is, I don't want to see it. And I think that's just kind of what I've always went through, um, how I've kind of moved in previous relationships. So I wasn't looking, but he was going through his phone. And as he was swiping like the screen, like the home screen, I noticed the Bumble app. We all know what Bumble is. Bumble is a dating app, which I recently learned the woman actually has to reach out first on Bumble. And so that was interesting. Not demure, not cutesy, a little ghetto, okay? But so yeah, I'm looking at him like flip through the screen. I'm like, why is that Bumble on your phone? And he goes, what? And I said, Bumble, the dating app. Why do you have that on? Like, literally, the app was right there. Like, why do you have the app downloaded onto your phone? Because why do you have it on your phone? I just want to know. And so at first he kind of tried to allude to it was just on the phone. And I'm like, okay, so what we're not going to do is act like Bumble. What we're not going to do is act like Bumble is just a pre-loaded app on your phone. Are you kidding me? It's not text messages. It's not email. It's Bumble. It's something that you literally have to download, create a profile. I mean, and so that was very short lived. But then it was like, it literally immediately turned into, why you know what the Bumble app looked like? And so then I'm confused. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do I, what, ooh. That is something that narcissists will do. They are literally the definition. So, you know, when like you're in church and you're hearing about the enemy and how the enemy's main goal is to confuse, that is a narcissist. Their main goal is to confuse you, get you all wrangled up so that they can just then be like, I'm gonna rip you apart because now you wrangled up. You ain't ready for nothing I'm about to throw at you. And so, yeah, he's like, why do you know what that is? And I'm like, well, number one, you see Bumble ads all the time. It's a bee. It's a beehive. I mean, like, are you selling honey? You know what I mean? Like, you have Bumble on your phone. I know what a beehive looks like. I know what Bumble is. And so, I mean, I don't remember if it was 11th or 12th grade that we actually had like logos and we had to say what the logo was. But I almost feel like my child could tell me what Bumble is, not exactly knowing what Bumble is, but I feel like she could be like, oh, that's Bumble. Maybe not. I don't know. But I don't think it's that hard to find out, especially if you're an adult, especially if you have social media. I feel like Bumble be having ads. Once again, why am I gaslighting myself explaining the different ways why I know what Bumble is? Some things you gotta ask yourself. So I then started explaining myself to him and telling him that I knew what Bumble was because that is how my sister and my brother-in-law met, which is why they have a photo booth called Honey Bee Photo Booth. Shameless plug. if you're in the Dallas or DFW area and you need some photo booth needs, please contact me, and then I'll contact the people at Honeybee Photo Booth, which I need to probably start working for them for real. But I will get your photo booth needs. No, but seriously, so then I'm literally explaining why I know what the Bumble app is. And I'm explaining it in a way of, because that's how they met on Bumble, which is why this is their business. Honeybee Photo Booth. Honeybee Bumble. Bzz. Am I the only one who's understanding this? So he's like, so that's how you know what the app, that's how you know what the logo is. And I'm like, well, that's not how I know what the logo is. Like, I more so know what the logo is because I'm a grown woman who's on social media, and there's these things called ads that come up, and you know what I mean? Like, Bumble's usually one of them because we're on social media and it's a social media dating app. So they're probably going to be promoting on things like social media. Um I've never had Bumble. Actually, I take that back. When I moved to Dallas, I did download it, but I didn't go anywhere with it. Like, when I found out the girls had to talk to the boys, I was like, oh no, I'm never doing that. But yeah. And so I'm sitting here explaining why I know what the Bumble logo is. And before you know it, I'm going in such a circle because that's what the enemy does. They're like, perfect, I got you in a circle. I'm going in such a circle that he's like, I got her. She good. She confused. She good. Just confused and stupid and good. And he's like continuously asking me questions like, so you only know what the Bumble app is? No, so you only know what the logo, so you only know what the Bumble logo is because your sister and brother-in-law met. And I'm like, once again, going in circles, confusing myself, like, well, no, that's not the only reason. I'm just telling you why I know, like, specifically, like, when I see it, it was more so when I see the logo, I think about them because that's how they met, and now they have a photo booth. But again, I'm still just explaining myself, and he's just sitting there eating it up like, this little stupid little girl, she don't know what she's doing. She's feeding me right now. Like, this is, if you're watching the visual, I am doing little claws near my face because I'm literally like, this is how he just would eat at my naiveness of not knowing what gaslighting or narcissist is. And meanwhile, the narcissist is just eating at your face, and you're just like, oh my gosh. And so the moral of the story is, this ninja, that's the word we're going to use. This ninja never told me why he had Bumble on his phone. He never told me why he had Bumble on his phone because the whole conversation shifted to why I knew what the logo is. And I just want anyone out there who feels like you may be getting gaslit, who feels like you know you're not cheating, your partner knows you're not cheating, but yet they continuously act like you are. I just want you to know, number one, you're not alone, but number two, you need to be alone. Did y'all catch that? You're not alone in the feeling of you're not going crazy because you know you're not cheating. You know you're not doing anything, yet you have this person telling you you are. So you're not alone in that because I get it. I know it. I was living it. But I also want you to know you need to be alone. You don't need to be in that relationship. I feel like gaslighting and emotional abuse is one of the worst kinds of abuse because while you're in that relationship, you're literally thinking of all these reasons that you're a terrible person. you're literally questioning yourself of, why do I know what Bumble is? Even though I know I never had a Bumble. I never even had a Bumble. Even then, like, when I was single, I had a Tinder. I had me a Tinder, okay? My little Tinderoonie self was right on some Tinder. But yeah, I never had a Bumble. And so for someone to be able to gaslight me into thinking I'm the problem when really less than 90 days, less than 90 days from the day you got married, you are on a dating site. Not only are you on a dating site, you're on a dating site where women approach you. And so for me, it was like, it was that piece of not only the gaslighting that came and why I knew what the logo was, but it was that piece of narcissism in the way of like, you need people feeding your ego constantly. And I feel he loved that because women are literally the only ones who can reach out. And so you have women on here telling you how good you look, making you feel good about yourself. And despite the fact that you just got married, and let me tell y'all something. This is honestly a topic for another episode, but I can honestly say in my like college we moved to Arizona relationship, I absolutely failed in the department of affection, being a girlfriend, affection. I failed. Like, I can own it. It's a conversation for another day. I promise I'll pick back up on it one day, but I can own that. What I cannot own is that I showed the same in my marriage, because I did not. I did not. Even if it was times where I didn't want to, and there were a lot of times I didn't want to, I still did. And it wasn't even like acting like I don't want to. No, I did. And I did well. I did well. So for you to be on Bumble months after, child, I'm talking months. Probably no telling how long after too, because since I never got the answer of why you're on freaking Bumble, I don't even know if the stuff was deleted. But it's just that level of like, number one, gaslighting you, but number two, not even caring that like, you got me out here like a whole person who had an event with you where the people were involved, the papers were involved, and yet you're still willing to embarrass me. That's insane. That's insane. Insane. Um, and so yeah, I want this to be a space where even if I'm telling something that resonates with you just a little, I want you to look into it a little more, because it may be something that maybe you're not realizing, maybe you're not noticing, maybe, it took you a little while to realize, but it's important that we get out of these strongholds and these trauma bonds, because for what? What are we in them for? Um, I can't wait to talk more about gaslighting and narcissism with you guys. I am almost a pro. Like, I feel like if I could get my PhD in anything, it would definitely be narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder, because it is a real thing that, like I said, until I was faced with it and knew I was faced with it, I'd never really seen it around. And when I realized I was and got out of it, I see it everywhere now. But I'm actually glad. So for the people who are like, I'm tired of seeing the word narcissist being thrown around, it's not being thrown around, babies. It's not being thrown around. It's being acknowledged and it's being called to the front. And I'm so grateful for that. Um, I'm so happy for this conversation. I can't wait for more. I just cannot wait to continue growing with you guys. Honestly, when I get to just film and be myself, I am the happiest. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I am the happiest because it is what I love to do, and doing this podcast has really opened that up a little bit more for me, and so I'm so grateful for that. If you guys could do me a favor and like and rate this podcast on Apple Podcasts. If you could give me 5 stars, that would be awesome. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Just Healing Podcast. You can listen to this podcast at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and here on YouTube, of course, at Just Healing Podcast. If there is a topic that you want me to talk about, if there's something you want me to mention, please let me know. My DMs are always open, like always open. I love just hearing people's different stories. I love feeling like, even if it's just one person, I'm helping you. That is my main goal with this podcast, because if I'm being honest,